Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So people are waiting for us on Zoom, so we're going to begin, but I'm going to join everyone. I'm going to go with Ryan to welcome everyone on Zoom. But it's really great to see people in the sanctuary. This is our first summer service. We'll be meeting throughout. We're trying to meet outside, which will be a little more COVID-friendly in the summer for the mask wearers amongst us who don't wear it outside. But we're trying to figure out how to have a good Zoom feed with an outside service. Until then, we're going to continue inside because we have so many people depending on Zoom at this time. So anyway, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'll be back. Let's make sure we do introductions too.
Hi, I'm Cantor Educator Josh Rosenberg. And let's just begin by introducing some song in the room. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. 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 La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Fill it up, fill it up. La 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 la. Whichever melody we're on. La 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 la. 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 La 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is really good to be together in community today. And so acknowledging that and acknowledging Rabbi Sissenwein's important instructions, let's take a moment for introductions just to say hello to each other, and especially to look around if you're sitting kind of near someone that you haven't seen in a while or maybe haven't seen before. Maybe get up, take a couple of extra steps to go and say hello to them, introduce yourself, and let's say a couple of Shabbat Shaloms.
Venus Nigun.
Beautiful. I can feel the room feeling more full already.
La 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 la. la 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 la, 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 la 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 la. One more time, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
This has been a bit of a week. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the service. But as I was saying before, it's really nice to be in community today and to get to be with each other. And that there's so much that we can draw from just being in the same room with other people, in moments when we're happy and moments when we're sad. And that Shabbat offers us that as well, that it's a space to process, to be not only with other people, but also to be with ourselves, and to be with whatever we're sitting with from the week. And Shabbat is a chance to not only unplug, like from our phones perhaps, that might be important this week, but also to recharge ourselves. And so this is an opportunity for us to dig deep into whatever fuels us and gives us joy and strength to move into the week ahead. And so let us dig into the shalom that can come from Shabbat, and from some of the joy that we can experience as we pull ourselves into a different space just for these 25 hours. And so we begin again with a nigun, the wordless melody, and we'll transition a little later into our Kabbalat Shabbat, the melodies that will take us through the week that has passed and into the Shabbat.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya da ya da da ya da da, ya da ya da da ya da, ya da da ya da da. Yai diddy die 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 die, yai diddy die 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 die, yai die yada die yai die, yai diddy die 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 die, yai diddy die 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 die, yai diddy die 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 die, yai die yada die yai die, yai diddy die die die, yai diddy die die die. Die 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 die.
We welcome in Shabbat by lighting candles, by bringing in light. So if you're here in the sanctuary, you can turn to page 120 in our Siddur as we light the candles. If you're on Zoom and you have your candles with you, bring them forward so we can see them, light up the screens together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
We turn to page 142, Shalom Aleichem, welcoming in the Sabbath angels to spend this day with us. 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharel, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharel, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharel, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharel, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue on page 130 with L'chuna Ranana.
L'chuna Ranana, come and sing. Join all of our voices together. When each and every one of us lift up our voices, we connect our voices to someone else. Maybe in this room, maybe in our community, maybe somewhere else in the world. So I invite you as we sing these words together, let's think about the connections that we're making. It goes like this. Lechu Niranena L'Adonai Nariah Litzur Yishenu Nekad Mafanav Nekad Mafanav Betodah Bizmirot Nariah Yai nai 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 Yai 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 nai 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 nai. So that was your first try. You did great. You sounded wonderful. Now let's try it once more. with more voices, with more joy, maybe with more pain, with whatever emotions you're holding onto. Let's use our voices and sing out and make those connections. Lechu niranena. Yeah. Ladonai. Naria. Letzor ishenu. Nekad mafanav. Nekad mafanav. Betodah, bizmiro, narialo, nai 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 nai
Continue with song on page 138, the words of L'Chadodi, as we finally welcome in the Shabbat bride herself to join us in community.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet ve'litila lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki hi mekor הבראכה מראש מקדם, נסוכה סוף מעשה, במחשבה תחילה לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבל. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Sanctuary, face the rear doors and welcome the Sabbath bride. Last stanza.
Enter
in peace.
Atet bala.
Entering gladness.
Come
Entering joy. Enter, O bride.
Toch emunhe am segula boichala olecha todi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela olecha todi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela pnei Shabbat nekavela.
Page 146, the call to worship. Baruch.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
And we respond together as one.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed le'olam va'ed la 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 la
Let's be seated as we continue with the words of Shema, page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam
And on the next page, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha liman tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אדוני אלוהיכם, emet. Asher, thank you for adding your voice. Are we catching you before camp?
Yeah.
All right, so we're blessed. So page 161. Thanks for leading us in these words of Hashkivenu. Let there be love and understanding among us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu lishalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Let's try that one more time. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu lishalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu lishalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Lechaim.
Page 164. If you're able, please rise.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, V'yagid tehilatecha. Open up our lips so we may praise your name. Open up our hearts so we may feel our pain. Open up our souls to let our love make us whole, and we may praise your name. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, V'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, V'yagid tehilatecha.
And on the next page, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov
Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim,
וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Let's use the words found in the prayer book or the meditations of the heart, or on Zoom we use the chat box to type in words of gratitude, things for which we're grateful.
I would really love to see the Zoom chat box right now. We ask that the one who creates peace in the high heavens create peace for all of us who dwell on this earth. We turn together to page 180 for words of Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Let's join together on page 371. On Shabbat, we are supposed to increase in joy, experience simcha, but we know that there are many in our community who are in need of healing, mind, body, or of spirit. If you are one of those people or thinking of one of those people, if you are on Zoom, I invite you to place their names into our chat box, and in the sanctuary, you may rise if you'd like to share a name of somebody who you are thinking of who is in need of a Misha Berach prayer.
Jerry.
On page 371, let's join together. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And each Shabbat, we give thanks to God for the sacred moments we've shared, those God-given times that we may have celebrated during the past week. And from Zoom, I've been asked to announce the 90th birthday of Lila Goldstein, the mother of Deborah White. And I know she's a regular on Zoom, as well as Margot and Sid Friedman, who are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. And on Zoom, my mother is celebrating her birthday today. And she's been a regular on Zoom throughout COVID. And Shauna and Josh celebrating their anniversary. 2 years. Mazel tov. Anyone Shechianu moments this past week, please? Mazel tov. 59th anniversary. Yesterday? Mazel tov. Where was the wedding? Temple Emmanuel. Where was Temple Emmanuel 59 years ago? Ah, still, okay, I didn't know that. Others? Happy birthday. Mazel tov, everyone. Let's join together for the gifts of life, of love, and those who are recording moments in the chat room on Zoom. We acknowledge God's presence in those sacred moments with words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
been a very tough day. And there is a song from my youth that has been playing on repeat in my head that has enabled me to lean a little deeper into the heartbreak that I'm feeling today. And I wanted to share it with you. Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. 'Cause I'm just a girl, little old me. Don't let me out of your sight. I'm just a girl, all pretty and petite. So don't let me have any rights. Oh, I've had it up to here. The moment that I step outside, so many reasons for me to run and hide. Can't do the little things I hold so dear. It's all those little things that I fear. 'Cause I'm just a girl I'd rather not be. 'Cause they won't let me drive late at night. I'm just a girl, I guess I'm some kind of freak. 'Cause they all sit and stare with their eyes. I'm just a girl, take a good look at me. Just your typical prototype. Oh, am I making myself clear? I'm just a girl in the world. I'm just a girl in the world. I'm just a girl in the world. That's all that you'll let me be. I'm just a girl living in captivity. Your rule of thumb makes me worrisome. I'm just a girl. What's my destiny? What I've succumbed to is making me numb. I'm just a girl. My apologies. Twiddledum, there's no comparison. Oh, I've had it up to. Oh, I've had it up to. Oh, I've had it up to here.
I should have started writing this sermon weeks ago, but I didn't. I suppose I had some embers of hope still burning in my chest that things would change and that it wouldn't need to be written. But they didn't. This morning, that little ember abruptly sizzled out into a slip of smoke that rushed out of my lungs as I read the headline, "Supreme Court Overturns Roe v. Wade. Ruling Ends Constitutional Right to Abortion." My hands started to shake and tears began to fall as I stared at the blank, blurry page before me. I could feel the eyes of the generations of women who fought so hard for control over their own bodies and fates staring back at me. I could feel the eyes of the generations of women who lost their lives, who gave up their lives for the lack of the right to safe and legal reproductive health care, and the eyes of the people whose lives will be forever changed by the rights stripped away from them today, eyes filled with fear and anger and despair, all staring back at me, asking, "So what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?" In Parshat Shlach, which we read this week, we find our ancestors asking a similar question. Moses had sent a leader from each tribe to scout out the land of Canaan, saying, "Go up there and see what kind of country it is. Are the people who dwell in it strong or weak, few or many? Is the country in which they live good or bad?" All good questions. The scouts went up to the land and then returned to report to Moses and the Israelite community. "The land does indeed flow with milk and honey," they said, "but it is a country that devours its inhabitants. All the people we saw in it were enormous, like giants, and we looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked the same way to them." The whole community broke into loud cries, and the people wept that night. "Why are we being brought to a land where we will fall by the sword? Better that we should have died in Egypt or here in the wilderness," the Israelites cried. "Where do we go from here?" Despite Joshua and Caleb's reassurances that with God's help they would prevail and claim the good land promised to them, the Israelites succumbed to despair. Faced with what seemed to be an insurmountable obstacle and certain doom, they could not see a future that was any different than the one set before their eyes by the anxious scouts. And so, for their lack of faith, they were fated to die there in the wilderness, unable to go backward and unable to go forward. God gets quite angry with the scouts in this story, but it's also hard to blame them. Their perspective was true, if not wholly accurate. They were up against powerful people, and they felt small. Individually, what could they have done against these giant figures? And when I used to pass by the Supreme Court building on my way to work in Washington, D.C., I would stand at the bottom of the steps and marvel at the awe-inspiring stone edifice towering before me. But I remember that perspective now and tremble instead. That is to say, I sympathize with the scouts. And yet, the moral of this story is that we are not to fall into despair, that we are to hold on to faith and hope, because despite all odds, we will make it to that promised land. But how do we get there? How do we not fall into despair or freeze over with fear as we stare at the fortresses looming before us? All we can do, I think, is to simply keep walking. We keep putting one foot in front of the other, one step closer to Canaan, one step past the courthouse. The only way to know where we go from here is to keep taking steps, because if we stand still, we'll never find out. Yigdal na koach, we read this week. Tigdal na koach, may your might be magnified. So even if we seem small, grasshopper-like in our own eyes, there are still steps we can take that will magnify our own might and can make a significant impact on the lives of the people whose access to reproductive health care, especially abortion and treatment for pregnancy loss, has been cut off in the states in which they live. Right now, the recommended step for individuals is to contribute to abortion access funds to help women and other people with uteruses, especially those in already marginalized communities who are living in the 26 states where abortion is about to become illegal, navigate the complex and expensive logistics of crossing into other states in order to get the reproductive care that they need. So the National Council of Jewish Women, the NCJW, has created a Jewish Fund for Abortion Access in partnership with the National Abortion Federation, which is funding a national hotline, travel across state lines, and treatment at approved clinics for those who need it. If you're interested, you can find out more information about the fund, as well as more on why reproductive choice is a Jewish value at their website, which is jewsfororabortionaccess.org. jewsfororabortionaccess.org. And we also know that our might is magnified when we work together as a community. Now, this congregation has done incredible, life-changing work in organizing for gun violence prevention, in resettling refugees, in fighting racial injustice and food security, and so much more. And I hope that in these coming months we will see the next great initiative that comes from TBE to protect the safety and well-being of the millions of women and people across this country whose rights to autonomy and proper health care are being unjustly revoked. And if you are a person who is affected by this decision, emotionally, physically, financially, or otherwise, please know that we are here for you. We are here for you in whatever you are experiencing. And so if you need us, or if you want to talk, please reach out. Wherever we go from here, Tigdal na koach. You are strong, we are strong, and we will keep walking forward together. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
I'm just a girl, lucky me.
Rabbi, thank you. We join together on page 586 as we begin the conclusion of our service. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for the Elena prayer. Asher, come on up. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol la'teit gedula le'yotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. Let's join on page 598. We'll join together for words of Mourner's Kaddish. On a Shabbat like this, we're holding many things in our heart, but we're also holding on the memories of those who we are keeping very close to us. So I invite you, if you are experiencing or honoring a yahrzeit at this time of someone who you've lost, I invite you to rise, and our clergy will come around. So for all those names that we say out loud, and for all those names that we keep in the heart's close place, and for all those who have no one left to say Kaddish for, then we rise with our mourners and join together on 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
You may be seated. Announcements.
Announcements.
You got any announcements? I have a few. What do you got?
Yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to follow up with Rabbi Harper. Her words were really poignant tonight, and she is helping us to kind of pave the way for where we can make a difference at a time where it might feel hard to make a difference. So there are resources, and we are all here to help make that happen. We're in summer. What's happening? Maybe something with Summer Institute?
Well, we just finished a wonderful semester of our Summer Institute. I thank all of you who joined us and who learned. It was amazing. We are going to join back again for our second semester on July the 12th. In between, we've got Congresswoman Catherine Clark, who's going to join us on July 7th at 7:30 in the evening. You can join us there. Lots of really amazing classes. I happen to be teaching, but you should take every class but mine if you have to. Lots of amazing teachers that we're really excited about. We are going abroad. We're traveling. If you want to go to Israel, there's times to go to Israel. If you want to go to the south with me for a civil rights journey, you can do that. We're going back to Israel in April. We're going to Cuba, apparently. I'm just learning this now.
And I think I might be joining Rabbi Sissenwein in
That sounds
Cuba.
like
We'll
fun.
see, I'm hoping. And then Rabbi Sapphire will be leading a family trip to Israel also. So lots of opportunities to travel, because travel, thank God, is back.
It's back.
So let's go.
Let's do it. That's all I got.
That's all you got? Great. I think it's a time that we join together in Kiddush. Would you like to lead us, Ryan?
It'd be a pleasure.
Let's all rise together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. Oh, they thought it was my bar mitzvah. It's juice. Oh, man.
Maybe it's wine in the summertime.
Maybe. I'm here for it. I was going to ask our closest to bar mitzvah, Asher, to come and lead Motzi, but in lieu of that, Lev, almost as good. I would say better. I'd say better than Asher. Would you like to lead?
No competition.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. You take a bite,
Getting ready for
fulfill the
camp.
mitzvah.
All the shops.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.